Have you ever woken up, looked at yourself in the mirror, and thought, where did he go? The man I used to be. Maybe your mornings feel slower, your energy is thinner, and that private part of you, the part that once made you feel strong, connected, and truly alive, seems to have gone quiet. You might even tell yourself it's just age, that it's normal to fade. But what if I told you that how you start your morning could decide everything about your health, your confidence, and even your manhood? And that 99% of men your age don't know the real reason they're losing it. I'm Dr. Edward. I spent over 35 years as a men's health specialist and urologist here in Greenville, South Carolina, helping thousands of men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond reclaim what they thought was lost for good: their energy, their circulation, their intimacy, and their dignity. And I want to talk to you, just you, not to make you feel guilty or weak, but to help you understand that what's happening isn't your fault. And more importantly, that you can do something about it. Naturally, safely, without expensive pills, painful embarrassment, or silent suffering. Today, I'm going to share with you one of the most effective natural approaches I've ever found, something that's helped men who are ready to give up feel truly alive again. But I'm not going to dump everything on you at once. We're going to go slowly, because you deserve to understand why this works and how to make it work for you. Before we dive in, I want you to do one small thing for yourself. Subscribe and click the bell, because it only gets more interesting from here, and I want you to be the first to know when I share the next step. And while you're here, tell me in the comments which city you're watching from. I read every single one. It matters to me, because I'm not talking to the masses. I'm talking to you. Now, let's have an honest conversation. Your body changes with age. We all know that. Your hair thins, your joints ache, you might get tired after climbing a flight of stairs. But those are the obvious things, the things everyone expects. The truth, the one no one talks about, is far more subtle and far more dangerous. It's about blood flow, not just to your heart or your brain, but to your most private, most intimate part. The part of you that used to wake you up in the morning with certainty and pride. The part that made you feel needed, desired, alive. See, your penis isn't just an appendage. It's an early warning system. It's telling you the truth about your blood vessels before your doctor's tests ever do. Because the blood vessels in your penis are tiny, delicate, the first to clog, the first to stiffen, the first to lose flexibility. Think of it like the plumbing in your house. When those pipes get gummed up, water doesn't just slow down, it stops. Same with your blood. When those vessels narrow, blood doesn't flow the way it used to. The result? Less sensation, weaker response, sometimes no response at all. And you're left wondering, is this just age? Am I broken? I want to be clear with you. It's not just age. It's not you failing as a man. It's biology, and it can be helped. But here's where most men go wrong. They ignore the warning signs. They blame stress, or they try to push through it with little blue pills. And yes, those pills might work for a while, but they don't fix the real problem. They're like putting duct tape on a leaking pipe. Sooner or later it bursts. Because the truth is this: those pills don't heal your blood vessels. They don't clear out the blockages. They don't restore your natural ability to get hard, stay hard, and feel everything the way you used to. They just force an erection, often with side effects. Headaches, flushing, heart risks. I've sat across from so many men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s with tears in their eyes. Not because they can't have sex, but because they feel like they've lost themselves. They don't want to disappoint their partner. They don't want to feel humiliated. They don't want to face that quiet ache of thinking, maybe I'm not a man anymore. And I'm here to tell you, that thought is a lie. You're still a man. Your body hasn't betrayed you. It's sending you a signal, a plea for help, a chance to fix what's quietly been going wrong for years. And the good news? There are natural, proven ways to help your body restore blood flow where you need it most. Not overnight, not like flipping a switch, but like gently coaxing your pipes clear again, letting blood move freely, oxygenating tissues, restoring sensitivity, response, and, just as important, confidence. This is what I want you to know before we go any further. Your morning matters. Because your morning tells the truth. It's the moment you first check in with your body. Do you wake up energized? Do you wake up firm? Do you wake up ready to greet the day? Or do you lie there feeling heavy, slow, defeated? Mornings reveal everything. And that's why so many men are failing themselves without realizing it. They don't know how to prime their body in the morning. They don't know how to support blood flow naturally. They don't know the simple steps that can make the difference between decline and vitality. And that's what I'm going to share with you in the next parts of this conversation. Slowly, step by step, because you deserve the whole truth. Not just the sales pitch for some pill. Not just the empty promises of quick fixes. You deserve to understand what's happening in your body, why it's happening, and what you can actually do about it without sacrificing your health, your dignity, or your relationship. So stay with me. Don't click away. Don't tell yourself it's too late. It's not. I've helped men who thought they were finished become the best partners they'd ever been. I've seen marriages rekindle. I've watched men stand taller, smile more, sleep better, even wean off medications because they finally got their blood moving the way it's supposed to. But to get there, you need to keep listening. You need to keep believing in yourself. Because what we're going to talk about next will show you the first, simple, powerful step to reclaiming your mornings, and with it, your manhood. So subscribe. Click the bell. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Because I'm not finished helping you yet. And you're not finished being a man. Not by a long shot. Stay with me. Let's do this together. You're still here. Good. That tells me you're the kind of man who doesn't give up just because things got hard. I respect that. I want you to hear me carefully now. I'm going to tell you about something that has changed lives. Something that seems too simple at first glance. But simplicity is often what works best. Let me tell you about one of my patients. He came to me at 67. Name was Paul. Nice guy. Retired salesman. Used to be on the road all the time. He told me, "Doc, I used to wake up with a purpose. Now I wake up with a groan." He meant it. Said mornings felt heavy. Said he hadn't woken up with an erection in years. His confidence was gone, and with it, his connection with his wife. But the truth was even worse than that. His blood pressure was climbing. His feet were always cold. He felt foggy in the afternoons, and he blamed age. But I told him something he didn't expect. "Paul," I said, "your penis is telling you the truth about your heart." He looked at me like I had two heads. So I explained. See, your penis is full of tiny blood vessels. They're the smallest, most sensitive parts of your vascular system. When they clog up, it doesn't just mean trouble in the bedroom. It means the rest of your pipes are clogging too. Your heart, your brain, your legs. Paul swallowed hard. He asked me, "So I'm doomed?" I shook my head. "Not if you're willing to do something about it." And what I told him next surprised him. Because it wasn't a drug. It wasn't surgery. It wasn't even something he needed a prescription for. It was walking. Simple. Free. Overlooked. But here's the key most men miss. How you walk in the morning. Because your morning walk isn't exercise in the way you think. It's your circulation reset. I told Paul, before you eat, before coffee, before reading the paper, put on your shoes and go for a 20-minute walk. Every single morning. He looked skeptical. That's it, I said. But don't treat it like a chore. Treat it like medicine. Because here's what happens. When you walk first thing in the morning, you help your body flush out the stagnant blood pooled in your veins overnight. You kickstart nitric oxide production. This is the gas your blood vessels used to open up. You can't get or maintain a strong erection without it. You warm up the blood going to your pelvis. That alone can mean the difference between waking up limp or waking up with confidence. And maybe most importantly, you signal your body, it's time to be alive today. Most men wait until afternoon, or they skip it entirely, and they wonder why they feel sluggish, cold, unmotivated. Paul tried it every day, 20 minutes before breakfast. He complained about the cold at first, said his knees ached, but I told him to take it slow. A month later, he walked into my office, and he wasn't just walking, he was striding. His color was better. His eyes were brighter. And the first thing he said, "Doc, my wife noticed." He got quiet for a second. Then he added, "And I noticed too. It's back. Not like I'm 20, but back. And I feel like me again." That's not magic. That's blood flow. You see, most men your age think they need a pill. But you don't have a pill deficiency. You have a circulation problem. Pills force blood in there for a moment, but they don't heal anything. Walking does, but it has to be done right. Morning, before food, at a pace that gets you breathing a bit harder. Not running, just moving, consistently, every day. This isn't a workout for your biceps. It's a workout for your blood vessels. It's the single simplest way to improve nitric oxide naturally. The same mechanism those expensive pills target. And it's free. But that was only the beginning for Paul. Because once he started walking, he felt better. But he wanted more. He wanted to feel strong. He wanted to feel present again in the bedroom, not just capable. That's when I shared the second part of this approach. It was even simpler, but most men never think of it. He was surprised when I said it. I told him, "Now that you're walking, you're going to start breathing." He laughed. "I've been breathing my whole life." But not the way he needed to. Because here's the second step most men don't know: deep, diaphragmatic breathing. Most older men breathe shallowly from the chest. Years of stress and slouching train us that way. But deep breathing, Rayal breathing, unlocks the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the system you need for an erection. Most men don't realize erections are a relaxation response, not a stress response. When you're tense, your body says, now is not the time for sex. Blood vessels constrict. Blood gets diverted away from your pelvis. But when you breathe deeply, your heart rate slows. Blood pressure drops. Blood vessels dilate. Nitric oxide production goes up. Your brain and body both signal, now is safe. Now is good. So I had Paul do this every morning after his walk. Just 5 minutes. He'd sit on the porch, close his eyes, put one hand on his belly, and breathe in for 4 counts, out for 6 counts. Slowly, gently. He told me it felt silly at first, but he stuck with it, and he started to feel calmer. He said his wife noticed he wasn't so irritable. His sleep improved, and yes, he woke up with firmer, more reliable erections. Because he wasn't fighting his own body anymore. He was helping it do what it already wanted to do. When he came back for his 3-month follow-up, he said, "Doc, I feel like a new man. And I didn't even have to take anything." That's the power of these 2 steps. Simple, natural, free. But most men will never try them because they think it's too easy to work. Don't be that man. Because in the next part, I'm going to share with you something even more surprising. It's not about what you do with your legs or your lungs. It's about what you do in the kitchen, in the morning, that can either choke off your circulation or wake it up like a roaring fire. And I want you to hear that carefully, because this is where most men sabotage themselves without even knowing it. So stay with me. Subscribe, hit that bell, and tell me where you're watching from in the comments. Because the next part might just change the way you look at breakfast forever. You're still here. That tells me you're serious. That tells me you're not the kind of man who quits just because something sounds different or unfamiliar. And I respect that more than you know. So let's keep going. We talked about walking first thing in the morning. We talked about real breathing. Not the shallow, half-hearted kind, but the kind that tells your body it's safe to relax, to respond, to be a man again. But let's be honest. You can walk every morning. You can breathe like a monk. But if you start your day by pouring poison down your throat, you're working against yourself. I don't say that to shame you. I say it because too many good men ruin all the progress they could be making with one simple habit: what they eat and drink at breakfast. Let me tell you about Carl. Carl was 72, a retired high school coach. Big personality, always joking. But behind the jokes, he was worried. He told me, "Doc, I used to be able to roll over in bed and show my wife what I was thinking. Now I just roll over and fall asleep." He laughed, but there was pain in his eyes. So I asked him about his mornings. He said, "Oh, I get up early, go for a walk with the dog, come back, fix myself some coffee, black as sin, and a couple of donuts. Sometimes toast and jelly if I'm being healthy." I had to smile. "Carl," I said gently, "you're not being healthy. You're killing your circulation." He frowned. "See, here's what most men don't know. Your blood vessels don't just respond to exercise or stress. They respond to sugar. When you start your day with sugar, donuts, pastries, jammed up toast, sweetened cereal, your blood sugar spikes like a rocket. Your body panics, releases insulin. Insulin's job is to store sugar, yes, but it also has a nasty side effect. It damages the inner lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium. When the endothelium gets inflamed, it can't release nitric oxide properly. And without nitric oxide, no dilatación, no healthy blood flow, no erection. It's that simple." Carl blinked at me. "You're saying my donuts are why I can't get it up?" I nodded. "It's not the only reason, but it's one of the biggest. You're sabotaging your circulation before you even get to lunch." He sat there, quiet for once. Then he sighed. "So what do I do, Doc? Kale smoothies?" I smiled. "Nothing that fancy. Just swap the poison for fuel." We talked it through. Instead of donuts or sugary cereal, I had him switch to eggs. Scrambled, hard-boiled, however he liked. Full of protein, healthy fats, and no sugar spike. Instead of white toast slathered in jam, I suggested sprouted grain toast with natural nut butter. Instead of sweetened coffee creamers or flavor lattes, I told him to drink it black or with a splash of real cream. And for something sweet, berries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. Low sugar, packed with antioxidants. He wasn't thrilled at first. Said he'd miss his treats. But I told him the truth. "Carl, you have to decide. Do you want 5 minutes of sweetness or 20 more years of mornings where you wake up feeling like a man?" He swallowed. "I want a year's document. That's the choice every man has to make. Because your breakfast isn't just food. It's the first signal you send your body every day. When you start your day with sugar and processed carbs, you're telling your blood vessels to shut down, to stiffen, to inflame. But when you start with real food, protein, healthy fats, berries, you tell them to relax, to open, to flow." Carl did it. He grumbled for the first week, but he did it. And here's what he told me after 6 weeks. "Doc, I don't know if it's the eggs or the berries or what, but mornings are back. I don't feel like I'm 25, but I feel like me again. And you know what? That was enough. Because that's the goal. Not to become a teenager again, but to reclaim who you are. The man who can look in the mirror and nod, knowing he's not finished yet. Breakfast matters. It matters more than most men realize. Because if you start your day by damaging your circulation, no walk or breathing exercise is going to save you. You can't out-exercise a bad diet, but you can support your body with simple choices. Real food, low sugar, high fiber, healthy fats. These aren't trends or fads. They're the basics of keeping your blood vessels healthy. And when your blood flows, your energy returns, your mind clears, your sleep deepens, your mood improves, and yes, you get back the part of you that made you feel alive. So if you're watching this right now, I want you to think carefully about what's in your kitchen, about what you reach for in the morning, because that decision isn't small. It's everything. And if you're willing to take that first step, you're already ahead of 99% of men your age. Most will keep pretending it's just age. So subscribe, click the bell, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from.